all. So we are going to talk about how we can practically apply concepts of generative AI, right? So that will be the topic of discussion. So I would like to start with this particular quote. Right? So it's from Albert Einstein, and it says, "If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on it, I would spend the first 55 minutes determining the proper question to ask. For once I know the proper question, I could solve the problem in less than 5 minutes." So now, okay, so before I guess we analyze this, what is the context? Let me give you. So all of you know at least this, right? All of you are familiar with this kind of white space where you write your request, whatever you are searching or whatever your query is. And formally, we are going to say that whatever we are going to write over here, that is nothing but prompt, right? So that is the context. Now, in this context, if we try to understand what this particular quote is trying to say is, then it's focusing on kind of formulation of correct question. If you don't know what you want, then you won't get it. And that is true everywhere, not just with respect to LLMs, but also with respect to life. So let's say, even if we assume that, let's say, this is the current state of your life. Let's say you are some person X and this is what you are right now. And eventually all of us know what we want to become, right? So in your mind somewhere you have image of, let's say, you want to become this particular person px dash, right? And now there is a significant gap between these two persons, right? So this is virtual, this is not existing, this is you, right? And then what will be the correct question so that you can reach to px dash from px, right? So the idea is you must visualize how what you see in you, in future you, in the better version of yours, right? And then the correct question will be, what all actions should I perform so that I can reach to px dash from px. And once you reach to px dash, then again your goal will be changed, and then you will go for px double dash, so on and so forth. So that means now what will happen with respect to most of the people, they will blame someone else or some external kind of circumstances and so on and so forth. So therefore they can't kind of bridge this particular gap, right? So the idea is, if you kind of visualize what you want, then the kind of very high chances that you can easily get it, right? So that means visualization is important with respect to life, also in the context of outputs, right? Because we are talking about generative AI. So the idea is we want to generate something. If you want to generate something and if you can't visualize it, then you won't be able to get it, right? So that's the first step when we talk about the prompt engineering. The name seems very big, like prompt engineering, but it contains very kind of one can say simplistic kind of ideas. And if you follow these ideas, then you will be able to generate tremendous kind of outputs of high good quality, right? So the first step, what you should do is, whenever you open this kind of blank page, right, you must ask this particular question to yourself: what you imagine as a final output, right, after completion of your chat. Why I'm saying chat? Because the famous model is chat GPT. Why this particular chat word over here before GPT? Chat means it's conversation. Conversation means it's not like that you will ask something and you will get answer directly. Chat means there will be interaction. It may be the possibility that after 5 to 10 interactions you will get what you want, right? And it may be the possibility that you won't get what you want, right? So the objective of this particular talk will be, how can we minimize the length of this interaction without compromising the quality. Okay, so then only we'll be able to perform many tasks in the limited given amount of time, right? So that's how we can improve productivity and also accomplish different tasks, right? So that's the kind of core objective of this particular talk. Okay, so now if I summarize this particular observation from Einstein by one more quote, then I will say asking the right question is as important as answering them. If you don't ask correct question, if you don't write correct prompts, then you won't get the correct answers, right? So this is also equally important. And the most important thing is, people often complain that AI is not kind of working. AI is not giving what we want, right? Whether it's AI or whether it's you, right? It may be the possibility, right? High chances that you have some kind of fake, or maybe one can say incorrect assumptions about AI, right? So let me go to the next quote, then you will be able to understand what I'm trying to say. It's not about only questions, it's also about whom you are asking. Let's say I want to join a particular firm. Let's say I want to join firm. Let's say again, I'm not using X also because X is also a firm. So let's say some firm, let's say Y I want to join. And now I have a number of options. Like let's say I can go to this particular firm and ask you, right, what are your views about this particular firm? Whether should I join or not? Versus I can also go to CEO of this particular firm and ask the same question. Whom do you prefer? CEO or peon? Or some employee who has recently joined? Right? CEO may give us better insights. Okay, if you can't relate with this example, let me give you more simplistic example. Let's say I have trouble with my heart. Whom should I contact? There are many PhDs over here. Can I ask, like, I will go to Nita and ma'am, please guide me. There are some issues with my heart. She will told me, are you mad? Go to some doctor, right? So what's the idea? Not only questions must be correct, whom you are asking, that is significantly important, because then only you will get the kind of correct response and the response which will kind of cure my disease, let's say. So now, with respect to LLMs, like let me talk about ChatGPT for now. So ChatGPT is trained on a kind of one can say more than 500 GB of data. So that means it can take millions of personalities. And if I draw this kind of, so you can relate like this. So let's assume that Jaipur is a big library. Okay, entire Jaipur is not city. Let's say it's a big library. And now you want output about a particular domain. Let's say you want some books or knowledge of some books, right? A summarization or some questions you have about AI only, and you want very high quality of output about AI. Then what do you need to do? You have to look. You have to see the entire library first. It's a kind of arrangement, and then you will go to this particular section where only books related to AI are there, and then you will search for your particular book which has answer, right? So same thing we have to do with respect to ChatGPT also. So that is what I'm trying to say over is, if I consider this particular kind of one can say graph, then these are nothing but different topics, right? Topic 1, topic 2, right? Topic 3. There can be infinitely many topics, right? And for each topic, what we want is we want very high quality of output. So that means we have to narrow down our focus over here, right? So let's say if I have question related to physics, then in my kind of prompt, I must say that take a role of kind of experienced physicist, right? Like Albert Einstein, and then answer my question, right? And if you ask directly, then your response won't be good, right? Then response will be generic. So it's very much important to first kind of assign role, because now the benefit with this LLMs is they can kind of take any role, right? So you have to first set that context. That, let's say in my case, like you are experienced cardiologist having experience of, let's say, more than 25 years, and then you can ask whatever your symptoms are, and then the response will be tremendously better. So let me demonstrate this to you, right? So all these are kind of theoretical things so far. So now let me demonstrate this particular thing over here. Of course, we'll come back to this particular slides afterwards. But this is, I will say this is bad prompting, right? Usually we do like this. Whatever we write in Google, we write in LLMs, which is wrong, right? So Google search is different, LLMs are different. If I write like this, my blood pressure is this, suggest something, of course I will get some answer. It's not wrong. I'm not saying this is garbage, it's relevant. But now compare this with my next prompt, right? I haven't changed much. Only thing which I have changed, can you read this, right? Hopefully, okay, let me try to zoom this more. So, or I can just read this. Assume a role of expert cardiologist having experience of 25 plus years and give detailed advice to a patient having blood pressure, same blood pressure. And now if you read this particular response, right, then it's very much detailed, and you can also see the length of the response, and also in terms of quality it also gives me kind of roadmap what all actions I must perform in the next 3-6 months, and what warning signs I should watch for, so on and so forth. Whereas if you compare this with the previous response, then previous response was like it's not good, one can say for sure, right? So this is the very first thing you should remember. Without context, without assigning role, you must not ask anything to uh, any of the LLMs, right? And then, except in the case where you are using some specialized GPTs, we call them custom GPTs. But apart from that, because they are anyway trained, right? We have bundled the entire prompt inside it and then shared it with others. So, except for that particular criteria, you must always assign a specific role to your particular LLM, and then only you should ask what you want, right? So that is the first thing. And of course, we can just revisit this two slides, right? So we can transform. Okay, and one more thing, I started my talk with saying that you must visualize your outputs. So what I'm trying to say over here is you must not assume anything, right? If you assume something that AI will understand it and kind of do it on own, then you may get something which you want, which you don't want. So don't kind of leave anything on AI. Try to be as descriptive as possible, right? So of course I will cover this in 4 or 5 minutes, where we will take specific examples. Then you will understand what I'm trying to say over here is. And of course, the main thing is we all of us are having access to the same models, but outputs vary tremendously. For most of the people, we will be able to, just after reading 4 or 5 lines, we will be able to understand this is AI generated. But few people are also there who are using AI, but we can't predict whether it's AI generated or human generated. So why those changes are there? Right? So the idea is the same model can produce dramatically different outputs based on how it's prompted. So only difference is how you are prompting, right? The model is same, the parameters are same. Do you agree, right? But the output will be different. So the I can say around 60% of the difference will be only from assigning the corresponding role. Right? If you ask generically versus if you give specific role, then the quality of output will be tremendously better. That is the first thing, of course, but we'll look for the entire framework. There are many frameworks, but what I personally like is, okay, so as you can see, a fully framed prompt results is generic, unstructured, or incomplete. What do you mean by unstructured? It may be the case that you are generating some report which you would like to put in a PowerPoint. So you want your answer in terms of table, but this is giving you this kind of some bullet points, right? So you won't be able to use it. So that's so if you do like this, then this length will increase. But what we want to minimize this particular length. So it's better to put everything in prompt itself, in the first prompt itself, right? So the I can say the better you visualize what you want, the better your outcome will become. Okay. So now let me go to specific kind of framework. So the framework which I recommend is called Create framework. And why I am suggesting, there are many other frameworks, but this is easy to remember, right? Create word, right? You can easily remember it. And if we go through kind of each letter, what it represents, the first letter, like I mentioned, C stands for character. So that means you must assign a specific role or specific character to your LLM. That's the first thing. R, I don't need to explain R because all of you know R stands for request. That's why you are on LLM. You want something to be done, you can write it nicely. But here I can add one more thing. Along with R, you must be able to visualize T. T is type of output, and you must mention about what type of output you want. Let's say you are writing a news article or you are writing a tweet. So in the case of tweet, you have limited characters. So you must mention that in your prompt itself, that make sure number of words must be like this. And sometimes number of words doesn't work. On those instances, what should we do? I will explain afterwards. But you must ensure that you are also mentioning what type of output you want. You may also want Excel to be generated. So then you must explicitly mention that I want Excel in my answer. Right? So that is type of output. Examples are also pretty much important, right? So what you can do is, if you have good examples, let's say previously you have done 10 times similar kind of task and you have input output combination, you can attach it simply. And let's say I'm generating a new recipe, then I can give example of some famous chefs, right, who can inspire me or whom I want to mimic, right? So examples are also equally important, and sometimes we have to do some kind of adjustment. I will explain about them, and there are some extras also. So what I'm going to do is, now I will demonstrate this framework with the help of one concrete example. Let's do with summarization task. Text summarization is the one of the most common use cases of LLMs, and it is being used by researchers, teachers, students, like kind of everyone, right? Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do is, I have already have this, so let me go to this. Okay, so as you can see, first let me tell you what I'm going to summarize. What I have done, I have considered the Wikipedia page of Sachin Tendulkar, and as you can see, I have just copied first 3 or 4 sections of it, right? So you can see a lot of data over here, right? So all of this is about nothing but Sachin Tendulkar, but our focus must be on prompt. So let's go to the prompt and let's analyze it, and let's try to understand means what part of the my prompt is corresponding to what letter of our create framework, and then we will see how the outcome is. Okay. So as you can see, if you again, if I can write create, then the first letter is C. C stands for character or role. So I must say who this person is, right? So I am saying that you are a highly experienced writer, or I could also say you are highly experienced English writer who writes concise and relatable text without stop words, filler words, or jargon. Why this? Because I want summarization. So I want my answers in concise way, and it must be readable by the audience, so therefore readable. And of course these are additional things which will make my output look good, right? So that's the first thing. C stands for character. Then what I want, request, right? So I want you to summarize the following text highlighting the most important concepts. So that is nothing but my request. Examples, I don't need example because from character itself it's evident what it will do. So I'm skipping this part for now. Adjustments are also not required, but type of input, output, sorry, type of output is important, and I am giving it that I want this as short paragraph of only 100 words, and then list the most important points as a bullet point, and finally follow it with one sentence summary. If you want just one sentence about Sachin Tendulkar, then what it will be based on whatever we are giving, right? So in this I'm not giving any extras also for now. So only C, R, and D with these three letters. Let's see how good we are getting in terms of output, right? So now let's just read what we get in terms of output of this prompt. Okay, so you can see a lot of data, right? Still, it's about Sachin Tendulkar only. Okay, maybe slightly. Okay, now he is retired, right? So, okay, fine. So we got over here. So now you can read, right? Maybe I can zoom this more. So, and I can also read. Sachin Tendulkar, iconic Indian cricketer, is celebrated as one of the cricket's greatest batsmen. Now, I will just focus on the keywords. I won't read this entirely, but you can notice that this 24-year thing is mentioned. So, what's the career span of it? And then some of his key achievements, including Bharat Ratna, is there. Kind of, he is also included in ICC Cricket Hall of Fame. Also, he retired from cricket, all form of cricket, in 2013. And then key points, then all the key points are kind of summarizing his key achievements. Only four are there, but you can notice that one of the greatest cricketer holding records of the highest runs in Test and ODI cricket. That's the main achievement. He started his career right at 16, spanning career of over 2 decades. That is also one more achievement. Then Bharat Ratna, Hall of Fame, and then Rajya Sabha member also, and retired in 2013. And most importantly, if you want just one sentence, then you can say this: Sachin Tendulkar, legendary cricketer, achieved numerous records and throughout his 24-year career before retiring in 2013. Now, let's say I don't want this. I want everything in terms of table. Then I can just say, give me the output in terms of table, and then I get like this. And then, okay. So now this is one more thing. Uh, uh, Sometimes depending upon our task, right, we want our model to be creative, right? So creative means, let's say you are writing poem, right, or you are writing some fictional stories. Then how can you change your output? So that is all about temperature, but I will come to that in a minute. Before that, let me demonstrate one more use case of chat gpt in this particular case, but you can use this in any of the AI system. But this time, instead of talking about summarizing let's say some text which we have given, we can also use this for summarizing some of the famous books, right? For in this particular case, it's very much similar, so you will be able to relate very easily. Only changes, instead of giving text, I'm just giving the name of the book, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, and the prompt is right, apparently same. This is one more use case, right? Many times we don't get enough time to read famous books, especially like 15 ways to some of the books titles like 15 good habits to improve your life, or 20 ways to get rich, or something like that. And let's say we don't have time to read the entire book, so then we can use this prompt and get the key ideas about the book, right? So in this particular case, right, the summary of the entire book has been generated, one sentence summary. But let's say I have more time than this. at least I want one paragraph that explaining each key point. So then I will change my prompt. I will say give at least one paragraph with citation quotes from each of the findings. And then as you can see, the output is different now and it's better as compared to previously. And okay, that is one more use case. Now, okay, so now I will go to one more use case of kind of AI. Of course, in this particular case, I'm again using ChatGPT itself. But let's say you are in some foreign country and you get this kind of hoardings, right? Related to, in this particular case, related to parking, and there are a lot of rules mentioned in it, right? And imagine what will happen if rules are mentioned in some foreign language which you don't even know. So what you can do, you can just take picture of this and then just ask, right, whether and let's say you are reaching to this particular point at, let's say, 5 p.m. in the evening. You can just mention, can I park my vehicle right now, right, just at this particular place. So it will analyze and then give you the answer, right? So in this particular case, I am not following create framework. This is just to demonstrate one more use case of this. So as you can see, it's first analyzing and then answering both the question, right? So that is there. And even more interesting use cases like this. So most of the times we get data. It may be in this kind of forms, right? Let's say someone has prepared this kind of analysis after completion of the entire year, that this is my data of kind of company of its performance, right, with respect to different region wise, right, method wise, right, product wise, right, and average cost per unit. It's this kind of analysis is there. And now the your boss is asking you to kind of come up with actionable points. How can we improve our profit, right? So of course you can analyze this and then come up with actionable points, but you can take help of AI and then verify whether the whatever AI is suggesting, whether it's making sense or not. It's about augmentation. It's not like that replacement that whatever AI gives just directly use it. I'm not suggesting that, but you can save tremendous amount of time just by kind of giving this and then asking, right? So what role should I give? Can you imagine? Let's say I want to write a prompt in which I will say, give me 5 insights about this graphics and also give me 3 or 4 actionable points so that I can improve myself. So what role should I assign to LLM if I want to put this as a prompt? Sales analysis is fine. Apart from that, data scientist is also fine. Right? Any one of this will work, right?
Data scientist does not give you insights.
Business analyst, right? I have used business analyst, right? So let me zoom this so that you can read this. So along with this, it's also better to put years of experience, right? So for example, I am saying you are a business analyst having experience of 30 years. From the given data, give us 10 insights about the company, recommend 5 actionable points. And one more important kind of use case of LLMs for teachers is we can use it for generating metaphors, right? So some different topic is there, difficult topic is there. We can use it to generate metaphors. So in this particular case, I am saying that explain like you are explaining to a 10-year-old guy. So even if you don't have technical knowledge, you will be able to understand what it's trying to suggest. So now, as you can see, it's giving 10 insights about the company. So it's saying that MacBook is making most of the money. Least profitable product is iWatch, top selling region, so on and so forth. So it has given all kind of analysis. But more important thing is what it should do, what company must do in order to improve its sales. Right. So as you can see, 5 actionable points. So expand online sales, optimize MacBook production, so on and so forth. Right. So these are very much helpful. But the interesting thing is this explanation for a 10-year-old. Right. So how will you explain the same output to a 10-year-old, right? So MacBook is corresponding to big money, right? Because it's being sold many times, right? So that is there. It's a high kind of, one can say, topmost product of Apple. Then iWatch is kind of small money. Asia is the biggest buyer. Europe is the fewest buyer, so on and so forth. So with this analogy, it's very much easy to understand what the output is trying to say. And as you can see, it's trying to relate this with toys, right? So that is also there. And now let's say when I'm not kind of satisfied with this explanation, then I can even tell it to explain like I'm 5-year-old. So then it will even try to do this better, right? So as you can see, now it's concretely relating it with toys. People in Europe don't buy as many toys, right? So as you can see, iWatch is like a small toy that doesn't make much money. MacBook is like a big fancy toy, right? So on and so forth, right? So it's easier for us, even for us, to understand like this, right? So that is one more use case one can say. And actionable points are also explain, like I'm a 5-year-old now. Sell more in Europe, make online shopping even better, right? So most people buy toys online, so let's make website easier to use and add special discount and make MacBook cheaper to build, right? So on and so forth, right? So and now this is a summary, right, of entire thing, right? So this is how you can kind of enhance your understanding with respect to uh, nothing but in this particular case chat gpt. And now they also support different kind of emojis, and also you can also have one more step and one more request, and you can tell that now include emojis and stickers to make it more visually appealing, right? If in case if you want to use them. Okay, so now if I take some concrete use cases, and of course this particular framework has been adapted from this particular the prompt collection book by Briss. Now, let me give you some concrete examples. So, let's say if you are from writing domain, then you must, if you have some tasks related to writing, let's say you want to write an email, then you must start like this, right? So that is one thing. If it is generic, right, so then you can start like this. Okay, let me consider one particular task, and then you will be able to kind of relate with this very much. Okay, so uh, in the case of request, let's say you want summarization. I already explained it, so I'm skipping it. But in the case of generic, you can have this kind of request: write a professional email inviting a colleague to a meeting next Monday at 10 a.m. And in the case of mathematics, it may be the case that you want explanation of Pythagoras theorem with a real world application in 100 words. So that is nothing but your request. And then as you can see, this part was kind of missing. Provide examples. So this is also quite interesting, right? So depending upon your use case, you can also kind of copy styles. So let's say you want to sell products and you want to market it just like Apple is doing. So you can say take inspiration from Apple's product, right? So you can write the second thing. After email in a tone and structure similar to Apple's product announcement emails. So if you write like this, then the tone of your outcome will be aligned with Apple's tone, right? So what you can do, like you read a lot of stuff online, and you find that this particular style is aligned with my style. So then you can just mention that particular style, or maybe you can just have a couple of examples of those styles and attach it in your chat GPT. So then the output will be aligned with that particular style. So that is a good example. And in the first case, let's say you are writing one particular article, and then you can say take inspiration from this famous newsletters like Harvard Business Review, right? And in the case of mathematics, right, we can take inspiration from Khan Academy, right? So their explanations are usually clear, visual, and practical, right? So this will give kind of more context to model to provide better outcomes, right? So that is nothing but with respect to examples. And sometimes we also have to kind of apply some adjustments, because AI. So it's like many people claim that AI is like friend. So of course it's like friend, but it's not like one can say kind of a super powerful thing which can understand anything, right? So we have to explicitly state. So it's just like, let's say there is one person who is kind of hardworking and who can do like almost anything for you, but you have to explicitly state that what you want, right? So if you leave anything on its, then it may give something wrong. So let me give you one simple example. So let's say you are alone at home and you want to generate a new recipe based on whatever you have in the refrigerator. And if you don't kind of explicitly mention that use only the ingredients what you want, then AI may assume that all the ingredients are kind of mandatory, and it may come up with something which is not eatable, right? So you have to explicitly state that only use whatever is kind of meaningful or required, right? So those kind of one can say adjustments are required in order to enhance the kind of clarity of our outcome, right? So in this particular case, as you can see, with respect to writing, we can say avoid filler words, focus on concise, precise language. In the case of second example, we can say limit email to only 3 sentences, because we don't want our email to be very big in this particular case, lengthy in this particular case, because it's just about setting up a meeting. So we can just say limit the email to 3 sentences and use a professional yet friendly tone. And in the case of mathematics, we can say explain only the theorem and its proof, and don't talk about unrelated details, right? So those kind of adjustments you can apply. Okay, so this will also further enhance your kind of output. And also there is one more kind of next word, which is called type of output, right? We already know about this create framework. So the next letter is T, right? So as you can see, in the first case, we want our final answer as nothing but short paragraph, a bullet point list, and one sentence summary. Whereas in the case of second example, we want this kind of format, right, about of our email, right? And in the case of mathematics, we want everything as a nothing but bulleted list. So that is all about this T. And of course, enhancements or extras. So sometimes what will happen? Let's say you are talking about this particular thing, and suddenly you don't want to talk about Apple now. Suddenly you want to talk about smartwatches of, let's say, Samsung. Then I can say, because now we have to start afresh. So instead of going over here and going to a new chat, I can directly use this particular thing, ignore all previous context and start from scratch. Let's start from scratch. So that is also sometimes useful, because you don't want to kind of switch your windows, right? So that is also there, right? And similarly, in the case of writing, we can have explain why these concepts are most important, right? Those kind of enhancements you can, or you can also say explain your thinking. That is also one of the powerful tools. Right, so this is just one part about what you say, how to write good prompts, and hopefully you are now able to kind of understand, right, how good prompting is looks like, right? At least with the help of Create framework, how it looks. So now what we can do is we can talk about one more important parameter, which is called tokens. So why tokens are important? Because tokens, if I just say give the okay, so let me start a fresh kind of chat, and instead of this, let me go to simpler model, and I'm just saying give me uh, a paragraph, or I will just say give me some insights about let's say Albert Einstein. Okay, with tokens is equal to, let's say, 50, right? Let's see what it gives. Okay, so now it has given me something, but it's just one sentence. Now what I will do, I will let me edit this kind of prompt, and instead of 50 I am writing 500, and let's see how my output differs. Okay, second. Okay, so as you can see, now it has given me the entire paragraph. Okay, so what's the meaning of this? Why I am talking about this tokens? Because many times you try to say that whatever your output you want, you say give this output in, let's say, 500 words or 1000 words, and then you copy those words in your Word document, and then you will see there is a mismatch between number of words mentioned, number of words you want, and number of words which are given by chat gpt. So how to kind of fill that particular gap? So for that particular purpose, you can use this concept of token, because chat gpt understands the language of token more rather than language of words, right? So in most of the cases, you can get the insight from the very first prompt itself. If you write 50, then you are getting just one sentence. So 500 will be equivalent of kind of 10 sentences. So like that, you can kind of prompt, yeah, like you can kind of change the length of your output, right? So that is also one more interesting parameter. And now I can talk about one more important parameter, which will kind of adjust the creativity level of your output, right? So not every time you want your model to be creative. Let's say it depends upon your use case.
In this example, are you using the paid version of the ChatGPT or the free version?
This will work in both the cases. I have applied it on the free as well as paid. This one is paid, but it also I have another account where I'm applying the same prompt using kind of free version. So it is independent of paid or free. So let me just copy the same thing in free version, right? So then also you will get the same thing, but the idea is about how to do good prompting. So if I say temperature is equal to 0, so 0 temperature is corresponding to nothing but deterministic approach. So deterministic means it will give me some traditional techniques of time management. It won't be creative, it won't give me something out of the box, right? So now if you see this particular output, so some of these methods are very trivial. Time blocking, it's very trivial, like I should have Google Calendar or some to-do list and I can block times, right? So this is not new. But now if you go to the second iteration, I am saying that regenerate your output with temperature is equal to 2, and now you will be able to see something out of the box. I don't know about this 2-minute rule, I don't know about this theme day strategy, right? I don't know about this reverse calendar engineering, right? And then there is a rule which is saying 10-10-10 decision rule, right? So many new things, right? And now you can imagine how creatively you can use this simple one temperature parameter in order to accomplish your task. So let's say now I have good knowledge of, let's say, AI agents, and I want to do a startup. So what should I do? What temperature value should I write so that I can get good startup ideas? If I start with temperature is equal to 0, so that means my approach is deterministic. It will give me ordinary ideas based on whatever is there. The model won't give me creative insights, right? So let's see what will happen if I say temperature is equal to 0. Then it's giving me something which is very trivial, right? AI powered research assistant from academics, AI agents for automated code refactoring and debugging, right? AI powered legal assistance, so on and so forth. But these are not something fancy, right? All of these are very trivial ideas, I can say. But now I am telling it to regenerate your answer with temperature is equal to 2.0, and now you will be able to see, right?
What is the range of temperature that is possible?
Right. For Chat GPT, its maximum limit is 2. So 2 is extremely creative. If you are having something between 1 to 1.5, still it will consider it as deterministic. And in the first case, as you can see, I have used the pure deterministic approach, where with temperature is equal to 0. So 0, you can have these two limits. 0 means it's deterministic. 2 means it's extremely creative, right? And if you want something in between, then you can also try 1 or 1.5. You can try series of this, right? It's not like that you can just play with 0, 1 or 2. You can also try with 1.25 or 1.4. It depends with respect to your task. It may be the case that your task requires some amount of deterministic nature and some amount of creativity. So then you can have something in between also. So that is also there. So with temperature is equal to 2, you can see that these ideas are quite good, right? As compared to others, right? So we don't have time, so we are not analyzing the ideas actually, because we are not here for startups, but I am just explaining you how you can have good prompts, right? So as you can see. So as you can see, AI agent for social hacking, so on and so forth. So now we have covered about how a good prompt should look like, right? And we must follow this particular create framework that we know. But there are some ready-made things which we can use directly if we want to save our times, and they are known as GPTs, right? They are called custom GPTs. So what people have done? So basically, let's say I'm good with prompting, and I have trained many times. I am using this series of prompts. Let's say prompt 1, prompt 2, prompt 3, and every time I'm getting very good response. And what I feel that this kind of task may be required by a number of people. So what I can do, I can bundle this up and put it online and share it with others. So others don't have to write this prompt. They can directly put their request only. So now you can ignore all the part. Just write down your request and get what you want for the underlying task. So that's the power of custom GPT. And there are more than 3 lakh custom GPTs on the GPT store of ChatGPT, right? So now what's the advantage of this? This will save a lot of time of yours. You don't have to explicitly write those paragraphs every time. You can just say, this is my requirement, and give me the output. So let me demonstrate this to you, so then you will be able to appreciate this more. So now you can go to this explore GPT, right? So then you will be able to, right? So this is the box for it. It's called explore GPT, and then you can search for your requirement. So let's say I want to do something related to Excel. So I can just say search Excel, and then you will be able to see a lot of GPTs, right, which are corresponding to Excel. So as you can see, Excel AI, Excel Pro, right? So I can pick any one of them. Let's say I pick this Excel AI. So here I don't need to tell it that you are a professional who works in who has very good knowledge of Excel, having experience of 10 plus years. I can avoid all those things. I can directly give my data and get whatever I want, right? So as you can see, it's also giving me this kind of buttons. I can click on those buttons and they are kind of shortcuts, let's say, and I can also attach something, right? So let me see if I have some Excel file, and then I can tell it to analyze, right? So I can maybe just search for something. So let's say this is something result of 2000 batch, and I can just say that please analyze this, right? I don't need to give more details and give me at least let's say 5 meaningful uh, graphs or plots based on this data. Okay, so I'm not sure whether this makes okay, it's more about some marks, so it's okay, it should be able to give us something. Let's see. So this is how you can save a lot of time. So it's analyzing for now, but soon it will be able to generate plots for us, as you can see, right? So so it's giving us some distribution, right? Some plots, right? Right? And of course you can be more sensible and you can ask what you want, but I am just quickly demonstrating you, right, what all you can do. So this is one good domain which is underrepresented, because not a lot of people are knowing about this GPTs. Okay, so this is there, and I can also demonstrate one of the GPT which I have created, and which is called Python ki Pathshala. So here, as you can see, so I can demonstrate this with one example also. Let's say the idea is, instead of explaining Python in traditional sense, what you can have is you can have personalized stories, because we don't, as a teacher, we can create only one or two generic example with respect to any of the concepts. I don't know what a particular person, let's say Rahul, likes. So what Rahul can do is he can just say, I want a story. I should be the hero of my story. Okay. I love, let's say I love cooking. Okay. And but I want to learn about, let's say, wild loop. If I write like this, then what this GPT will do is it will generate a story which will delete all of this. In this particular story, as you can see, Rahul is the main hero. The underlying hobby is cooking, and the concept will be kind of related with while loop, so that student can understand right. And of course it will give uh, other things also, right, other metaphors, corresponding video, right, MCQ, so on and so forth. And I have made it this in Hindi as well as in English. So if you just write E, then this will be converted into English. So just like this, I'm just demonstrating this because I have designed this, and it was also featured by OpenAI. So the idea is this kind of shortcuts are there with respect to many of the custom GPTs. So for example, I don't need to write that translate this into English. I can just write E and get the previous response in English, right? If I want in English, I can just say HE, that EH, right? I can just say EH. And if I want more metaphors, so I can just, so as you can see, now the story will appear in English, right? So that is also there. And let's say now I want to learn about, let's say, instead of while loop, let's say I want to learn about functions. So I can just say metaphors functions, or just I can write M, right? M functions will also work. So then it will give us some different relatable examples with respect to function topics, and so that students can easily relate with that. So with respect to cricket, how function can be used, student life, Instagram, right? So this is the way you can make teaching learning more personalized. That is for, of course, teachers, but for students, of course, you can use this for learning, right? So whatever you want to learn, you can just search for this you can go to this particular explore GPT store, and then you can search for whatever particular, right? So you can see a lot of sections are over here, right? You can also go to research and analysis, and then you can go to the Scholar GPT. So let's say you want to do some kind of literature review, then you can just go over here, Scholar GPT, and then I can just write that give me latest work summary on the domain of use of AI in, let's say, teaching learning, or AI, generative AI for teaching learning, right? Something like this, let's say. So then it will search. Okay, of course, first we have to allow, right? So then it will be able to connect with its kind of intermediate website, and then it will give us the key themes which are being there. Okay, so and it's also giving us link, right? So we can also go to this particular links and verify whether it's making sense or not, right? So that's where this is kind of more powerful. And apart from that, there is one more feature which is very kind of being less used, which is called nothing but it's called deep research. I'm not sure how many of you have used it, but it's a very powerful technique to kind of summarizing all the valid kind of literature which are available on any of the topic. So many of the times people afraid to use chat GPT kind of models is because of this particular fact that whatever answers we get, they are not reliable. But if you run this deep research, then it will also give us the citations from where it's picking the underlying data. So you can go to those links and verify whether the answers are making sense or not. So for example, I can quickly have deep research. The deep research is already selected, so I can just give the topic. Right? Topic is, let's say, graph neural networks. Right? Okay, I'm keeping it very short, right? So I will just say assume default and go on, right? Because it will ask that some question to make it more personalized and relatable. But I'm just saying it to assume default and continue. Okay. So now it's starting the research, right? It may take a couple of minutes, but the output will be of very good nature for sure, and you will be able to save number of hours by applying this deep research.
So while waiting for these minutes, I would like to ask some question.
Sure.
So in this, it is assumed that the person who is asking, he may never be get, or the multiple people at the same instant of the time, if they are asking the same question or similar questions, the chat GTP would not give the same answer. So that will be depend on that person query.
Mainly.
Why does this happen?
So the idea is it's more about kind of prompting, how you prompt. That's how.
If the same question, if it is been asked, would it is implied that it should not give the
So it's
same answer?
mainly because of probability based model. It's not a kind of deterministic model. So I guess Professor Kiran can explain more about it, because my focus is more towards how to use it practically.
So answer would be varying
Okay.
based on that the person who is given that query, and even though the query is same, the answer will be different. So why does this happen?
So it's mainly because of how we are picking up the samples from the latent space. And,
latency, because the same instant of time.
No, from the latent space. From the latent space.
Latent space.
From latent space. From
Encoding.
Encoding. And they can be very, as my father said, it's very stochastic. Right? It's not very deterministic. The only way is by prompting more and more. You're making the system more deterministic.
The question is, we say that in the same query, if it has been asked by the multiple people at the same instant of the time, the chat GTP used to give the different answer.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, because the probabilities of the queries of multiple queries is changing. We are not aware of it.
Is there,
Yeah. So that component is bringing the variation. Otherwise, it will look like a cut paste kind of thing. Also, so variation is.
Maybe we can ask this question to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, I was focusing on. Okay, of course, I will take questions, but I'm.
Actually, a lot of and this when you're using ChatGPT,
Yes.
the custom ChatGPTs are only available on Plus models. A lot of ChatGPT. So you are using Plus model. If you do on a free version, it will not work.
No, Explore GPT is, as per my understanding, it's
No, lot
available
of
for.
custom GPTs are behind the paywall.
No, I don't
Even
think so.
there are limits on that. It's
So
changed.
limit is there, that I know.
And also, a lot of features of the way you're prompting out, it might not work on the free models because on the
No,
chat
no,
GPT, there's a
Explore.
lot of information
Okay,
that
so
it can't store in one
just,
account and
just
another.
let me complete. I am using this since last 2 years extensively, and I am using on both the models for both the versions, free as well as paid. So this is free version, and you can see the store is over there. And if you want to explore custom GPT, if you want to create your own, then there are some platforms, including where you can create your own custom GPT without paying anything. So those options are there. So okay, let me complete. Then I will answer more. But the idea of this talk is to understand how one should prompt, because prompting is very much essential, not only for getting what we want in normal traditional conversations, but it's also important in the context of agent generation as well as creation of custom GPTs. So if you're good with prompting, then you can use this on any of the platforms. You can also go to DeepSeek and use it. It has, or you can go to Grok and use it. So whatever I am explaining, that is independent of the model. I am mentioning ChatGPT more because that was the first model which came. But whatever we are talking, it's independent of the LLM model, right? You can use the same prompt technique, create framework on DeepSeek and get right free answers, right? And with respect to custom GPT, this is my free account. As you can see, that this is some different account. And if I go to this particular link, chatgpt.com/gpts, but I can assure you this because I have taught Python programming in first year, and my GPT is being used by more than 120 students. None of them, right, as per my understanding, pays for it. So it works for all free users also, I can assure you. And this is the link. If you want, you can go over here and search for it. Of course, there are some limits, that number of conversation are limited because of that free nature, but you can try this, right? That is for sure. Okay. And meanwhile, I was explaining about difference between on what instances you should go for this beautiful tool, which is called Perplexity, right? So Perplexity serves different purpose. Let's say you want to kind of enhance your profile on X or maybe on LinkedIn, and you are not sure what is a good time to post on these platforms. So you should ask this question to Perplexity, not to ChatGPT. Why? Because Perplexity works on kind of different phenomena. It will first do kind of Google search. It will narrow it down the focus to some of the web pages, and on those web pages it will then apply some model like ChatGPT or ChatGPT's model or DeepSeek's model. So what will happen? Whatever you are getting, those things are based. Those things are not generated. They are based on web pages. So it is kind of enhanced Google search, where whatever answers you are getting, along with those answers, you are getting citations based on what this answer has been given, right? So this is very good tool for even for analyzing. Let's say you are placed and you want to know what are the reviews of a particular firm. So instead of asking it to ChatGPT, you should ask it to Perplexity, because it will. Now there are some options of if I go over here, then they have this particular option. As you can see, just give me a minute. If I In the previous version it was there, you can kind of fix whether you want to search from let's say, let me go to one new tab and then see if it is there or no. But yes, it's there. So you can see there are four different options over here: web, academic, social, and finance. So let's say you want to know opinions about people or opinions about let's say anything, then you can turn this social mode on, discussions and opinion. And then what it will do, specifically it will take data from platforms like Reddit, where people express their opinions very freely, right? And then based on those opinions, what is the summary of those opinions aligned with our question, that we can get. So you can turn this modes on also, that what people are talking about a particular product. So let's say you are launching a new product for a particular segment of people. So before launching, you can turn this mode on, social, and then ask the question that if I design this kind of product for this particular age group, people of this particular region, then what are the chances that they will adopt it? Or you can also do reverse thing. You can narrow it down. Let's say I'm interested in a particular product called, let's say, smartwatch. What are the issues with smartphones with respect to people of let's say a particular state, let's say Maharashtra, in last 5 years? What are their complaints? And then you can design a better product like that. So there are a number of use cases. I am just explaining some of them. And the more important or intelligent thing to do is club these two, right? You can get some insight from perplexity. Now use it intelligently in ChatGPT to generate something unique, right? So that is also a good kind of interesting creative use cases of AI tools, where you are using one particular tool to accomplish task, subtask one, and then you are using that particular output to some other LLM model, right? So that is also there. And if we go back to this, so hopefully it should be still it's taking time, but of course you can see that what it's doing, right? It's going through a number of resources, and then finally we'll be able to get the output. Or maybe I can showcase from some of my previous results, but you can also try it by your own, right? Because ideally this is tutorial class, so you also have to do this by your own. But I'm just showcasing you some of the key features which are there and kind of underrepresented. One more kind of feature, okay, I can go to the free version and explain this. There is one more version. If I directly click on this particular edit button, then this kind of canvas will be opened, and I get this on the right hand side. You can see, so this is kind of your word. You can also copy this, you can edit this, right? I can delete this and I can write something of my own, so that is also there, right? So I can directly delete this. And now there are some also kind of modifications. For example, I can just select this and ask ChatGPT to kind of bold this, or maybe I can just tell it to revise this, right? So those kind of things you can do, right? So with respect to segment of your output also. So in many of the cases, it may be the case that you are good with rest of the outputs. You don't like only the portion of your output. So then you can just select it and then ask ChatGPT to revise this based on whatever you want, right? So that is also there. Those kind of tiny features are also there. So overall objective, if I again go back to the first 10 minutes of my slide, so the overall objective is to use this tool. But the idea is the chat world is there. We want to minimize the length of the chat without compromising the quality of our outcomes. So how we can do it, if I summarize whatever our discussion is so far, then the first is ensure that whatever platform you are using, you give a particular character, a particular role, particular persona, depending upon your task, to your model. That's the first thing. Write down your request explicitly. Don't leave anything on the model, right? Make it explicitly. Make sure you are as descriptive as possible. That is there. Then use tokens as well as temperature depending upon your requirement in order to kind of adjust length as well as creativity in label. And also use custom GPTs, right? Because they are also kind of very powerful tools, and you can utilize them for number of features, right? Depending upon whatever your purpose. There are some tools which can kind of summarize tasks. Like I'm talking about, of course, custom GPTs. You can also generate videos, songs, so on and so forth. So endless possibilities. You can, depending upon your use case, you can explore and use them. So that's all I wanted to highlight with respect to prompt engineering. And in my slides, I can showcase you if something is remaining, we can discuss for sure. So okay, one more thing which I can tell is it's like a human, right? If you give someone too many tasks in one go, let's say do this also, do this also, do this also, and I will say let do these 5 things in one shot, then that particular person won't be able to do any of this properly. So what ideally you should do is you should be able to break your whatever your task is into subtasks. First, let's wait for the outcome of subtask 1, then tell it to enhance it by subtask 2, so on and so forth, right? So as you can see, break your task into multiple prompts, each with specific tasks. If you give too many things, then the model will be kind of confused, right? So that is that. And next one is ambiguity. You should avoid, right? So be explicit in about your context and objects. So I already covered this in the quiz, but that is there. And of course, it's conversational model. It's not like Google search. So whatever you are getting, you can always iterate. You can say, explain your thinking, why you are giving me this output, right? What you can also ask for sources, right? So those kind of things you can. So it's iterative process. It's not like that one time thing that you are given this and you get something and you are happy with it. That usually won't happen, right? So you have to you must have some kind of patience, right? And of course, I guess all of you know about possibilities, like you can generate it's generative AI, right? So you can generate text, images, videos, right? I guess all of you are aware of Ghibli trend, right? But it's not just about Ghibli. You can have many of the alternative designs. Like for example, the first three images of my presentation were generated by ChatGPT, right? So it's not like that that you use it for some specific purpose like entertainment. Okay, so that is there, and of course you can have some creative tasks also, right, like this. So this is the summary. So experiment and innovate with prompts. There is one more thing, one more word is trending nowadays. It's called meta prompting. So all of this we have understood, but let's say we are lazy, we don't want to even do this. Then we can go for meta prompting. We can just tell ChatGPT, this is my prompt, revise it, ensure you apply all the state of the art prompting techniques. It will give you the revised prompt. But still, in order to kind of give marks to it, or in order to say whether it's sensible or not, we must be aware that what's the fundamentals of prompt engineering, right? And of course you can use it for your projects or research or whatever purpose, right? And of course that so some of the things which I have discussed, it's already there on my YouTube channel, especially about tokens and temperature. If you are interested, you can watch it. Okay, yes, now you can ask questions here.
So you had given that query. What is the output of that?
Okay, so we can go ahead and sure. It was about here. Okay. Einstein, this. Maybe I closed it somehow. Let me see. It takes some time, but I guess in Gemini it does very fast. Let me see if something is already there in my what do you say history. Then I can showcase it.
So, I think that is a part of this good thing to analyze the performance of this chat GTP. Let us try some experiment of giving the same.
Okay, so this is one. Okay, I can showcase you from in the context of Gemini. This is one output where the prompt was about, let's say,
What is the variation that
uh, I want to generate 40-hour course on agentic AI. So this was the outcome which was given by research mode in Gemini, right? So it's giving me a detailed research report. I can also export this report. So you can see it's very comprehensive. It will cover all the aspects of this particular course. And then I can also export this in terms of kind of doc, right? I can just click on this particular button and it will be, the content will be copied on Google Docs, and then I can use it. So this kind of outcome will be given by, it's just like your research report, research paper, one gets it, right? In summary. And same kind of thing is being also offered by Perplexity. So that is also there. So many of the models support deep research nowadays. So it's mainly about kind of, one can say, research paper generated by AI, right? In some sense. But more of kind review paper, I must say, not research, because in research you need to come up with something new. So it will just give you state of the art with respect to the topic. So you don't need to go to 10 different websites and understand how it works. Okay. Okay, and I just wanted to add one more thing with respect to custom GPT. You can make it personalized not just with prompts. You can also provide your files. So, for example, in the case of Python ki Pashada, I had also uploaded all the kind of collab files which I had generated in previous years. So therefore, the outputs are even better, right? So you can make it as personalized as you want. Sure.
Suppose I'm creating a custom GPT like you have created from Python. Now, whatever data you are given, it has also the repository. So if I want to confine it to my area, that whatever I'm doing, I'm using the GPT, but the GPT should not be able to take my content back in the public domain.
Okay. So you want your okay. There are some settings in Chat GPT. I'm not sure how good they are, but of course I can showcase you to them. If I go to settings, And I guess there is one kind of option in uh, security or something, where they kind of whether you are allowing your, that's all under data control, I guess. So as you can see, if I go under data control, there is one option of improve the model for everyone, and I have kept it off. Why? Because if I keep it on, then whatever charts are there, that they can be visible by OpenAI people, and they can use it for enhancement of their model. So if you are using something which is kind of limited to you, so one thing you can do is this. Apart from this, there is one more option which is called this temporary mode. If you click on this temporary mode, then as you can see, after some days, whatever the copy of your chats is, right, will be deleted, right? Usually 30 days. Right, so that is there. And with respect to your question, if you want to be super secure, then you have to build your own model, right, with LangChain and all that. So that way you can keep it hosted, and then use mainly you have to use APIs, right? So you can have your data on your system, and then with the help of API calls, you can. I guess sir can tell more about it, but that is one of the possibility, I guess, where you can kind of standalone applications you can generate and then share it with others.
Maybe in the last day we can have the application session where we can discuss about this.
In the test, you can have certain small bits of these,
Yeah.
so that they know they have to do something.
So this is very important because entire vibe coding, right, the agent generation, everything is based on prompting now, right? So if you are good with English, English is the new programming language.